Hello, America and the world. This is Radio Free Market, and I am your host, Michael McKay. We are behind the lines of socialism, my friends, and Radio Free Market is the voice of free people and free markets. Today our topic is water for sale. Should we privatize water? With Dr. David Zetland. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Good to be here, Michael.
I'm very appreciative that you could make it with us today. Dr. Zetland received his PhD in agricultural and resource economics at the University of California in Davis. He runs a blog called aguanomics.com and has written extensively on water, the environment, and the markets. Next, I would like to welcome our special commentator, Mr. Luke McGrath. Welcome, Luke.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I'm very happy you could be here as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Luke is a recent graduate of Curtin University in Perth, Western Australia, where he obtained his double degrees in economics and political and international relations. Luke now resides in New York City and actually did the heavy lifting in preparing the structure of this particular show. So, David, I want to start off by by commenting that here in the West, we tend to take water for granted, but for many people in the world, they don't have this luxury. Just how bad is the situation throughout the world, and how many people do not have access to clean and safe water?
Well, Michael, there's obviously a problem with trying to get a good estimate because they don't even know how many people live in a lot of developing countries. But the numbers that I've seen are that around a billion people, 900 million people around the world lack access to safe drinking water. There's a huge problem with this definition, which comes from the United Nations, and is connected to the Millennium Development Goals, because the UN is keeping track of people who lack access to a improved water supply. That's the word they use. Mm-hmm. So that means, do they have access to a pipe or a wellhead, for example? But the water that's coming out of that improved water supply, no matter where you are in the world, may not be safe to drink. So the number is around 900 million who lack access to an improved water supply. I would say that far more than that number lack access to safe drinking water.
Well, it's a very staggering figure. I've seen figures of 12 million deaths annually, 22 people dying every minute of every day. How accurate are these figures?
The numbers, I'm revising a book right now, and I'm kind of running across these numbers now and then inside my manuscript. And I think that the numbers that I've seen for deaths due to water contamination are around, if I remember correctly, around 3 million per year. Mm-hmm. But on the other hand, your 12 million number might be absolutely correct, because you might have somebody in a village who sees a kid die of diarrhea, and that's a confirmed death from diarrhea, but then you have massive extrapolations and kind of filling in gaps that are going on with spreadsheets in different government bureaus and agencies and NGOs, and at some point someone decides that 3 million or 12 million out of nearly 7 billion people on the planet are dying from water problems. So a lot of people are dying from water problems, and the number is in the millions, but no one really does know for sure.
Okay. Well, we can safe to say this is an incredibly large problem, and that it basically affects the poorest people in the world primarily.
Yeah, and in fact, the relative number that I like to use, I always like to use numbers that people can keep track of, but 2.8, the number I was using in my book is 2.8 million people dying, most of them children, and in the U.S. every year 2.4 million people die from all causes. So that's kind of a good way to scale this number.
Wow, now that's very interesting. So, well, we're coming into the end of this particular segment. This one flew right by, and so folks, please stay with us. This is Radio Free Market, and I'm your host, Michael McKay, and I'm talking with Dr. David Zetland on water for sale. Should we privatize water? So we'll be back in just a minute. Please stay with us right after this particular break. Thank you very much for listening.